Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make bouillon pois. It's a soup made with vegetables, meat, and beans. So let's get right to the recipe. So I'm using cannellini beans and navy beans because they are very flavorful, very nutty and creamy. You can use just one if you like, but I like to mix it. So I'm going to go ahead and rinse my beans, and I'm going to go ahead and cook it. So I'm cooking my beans with scallion, garlic, and a little bit of vegetable oil. So it took about almost 2 hours. So like an hour and 45 minutes it took for it to be really cooked. Make sure it's cooked very, very, very softly to the point where it's like broken. It's like mushy and stuff because we're gonna blend it. So I use the cannellini beans because it's meatier than the navy beans, so it still retains the shape. Even though it's very soft, you can still see the big sizes. So let's go over the meat that I'm using. I'm using beef neck bones, about 3 pounds. So I'm gonna go ahead and season my meat. I have rinsed my meat with vinegar and lime juice, salt too. I will list all the ingredients and their measurements in the description box below. Be sure to check it out. So like I don't know if you know, I love to use mustard. You should know by now. I love to use mustard in my meat. It helps with the marinating. So you should try it if you haven't. A little bit of olive oil just for the marinade. I'm marinating my meats for 24 hours because it's just so much flavorful like that when you let it marinate for a long time. I am using mostly bones because I'm making soup, and then you know, bones has more flavor than the meat. So I use very little meat. Mostly it's all bones, honestly, because the meat, it's just not as flavorful. The bone has all the flavor, all the good stuff. So this is my pepper paste. I'm adding a little bit to it so it can be a little spicy, not too much. And of course my epis. If you don't have an epis made in your fridge, I'm gonna post the link on the description box. Make sure to check it out and make your own epis. It's delicious. Any Haitian dish you're making, you need epis. So I'm gonna go ahead and squeeze a lime juice in there. It's equal to 2 tablespoons. This lime was like a medium size, it wasn't too big. So now after you've added all your seasonings, you're gonna go ahead and stir it and marinate for at least 4 hours. But I have 24 hours, so I like to season my meat and let it marinate for 24 hours because it's just so much better. So we're gonna go in a little bit fast because I don't want the video to be too long. So we're speeding up everything, but if you pay attention, it will be easy. It takes a long time, but the soup is so easy. It just takes a while to cook. The beans take over an hour, almost 2 hours to cook, and the meat is also gonna take some time to cook. So now we're gonna go ahead and cook our meat. I've transferred to my pot that I am cooking it, and I'm gonna add 4 cups of water and let it come to a boil and let it cook thoroughly. Let it cook fully. Make sure you check it to see that the fork can go through it and it's soft. And this is the vegetable that I'm using. I'm using 1 plantain. You may skip the plantain if you don't like it. Yam and kabocha squash. So my meat is fully cooked, and I've washed and peeled my vegetables. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer my vegetables to the meat to let it cook a little bit in the meat. The plantain, the yam, and the squash. I cut the squash in very small cube pieces, very little pieces, so it could cook really fast. Also the yam, I cut it in small pieces too. You don't want it to be too big. I am also making dumplings for this recipe because I love dumplings, and I'm making it a little bit different. So I'm using cornmeal and then regular flour. Usually we use regular flour, but adding the cornmeal is just a game changer. You must try that. So I'm just checking my vegetable to see if they're cooked. So they're apparently cooked. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off my heat. Let's go back to making the dumplings. So I'm using 1 cup of water and a tablespoon of Goya adobo, and I'm gonna go ahead and make my dumplings are so easy to make. Just add the water, make the dough, and knead the dough for about 10 minutes. And once you've kneaded your dough, you go ahead and make it into balls, or you can make it long. So it's really up to you. The shape, it don't matter. I do both, but I prefer the balls, honestly. Make sure your dough is well kneaded. This, I'm not using a lot of stuff, but it's really a lot of soup. It's a lot. So yeah, as I was saying, I prefer the balls. So I'm gonna go ahead and make my balls. So after you're done with your dumplings, we're gonna go ahead and make the bean soup. We're gonna blend the beans. So we're gonna go ahead and blend the beans. We're gonna leave just a little bit, about a cup of beans left. Set aside a cup of beans, just because I like to have little pieces of beans. And I mean, it's a bouillon pois, you gotta have some beans in there, you know. About a cup and a half, or 2 cups even. Leave aside and transfer it to the big pot that you're going to transfer everything in. You need a big pot, honestly, for this bouillon, because it's a lot of water, not a lot of vegetable, but a lot of water. So it's like a soup. It's a soup. Anyway, so go ahead and blend your beans. After you've blended your beans, we're going to go ahead and strain it. Honestly, straining it, it's all up to you. If you have a really good blender, I think it's fine. Growing up in Haiti, we use a moulin, so you know it's different. It's not a blender, so we kind of have to strain it. But straining the beans, really, you're getting rid of the skin, and that's where the fiber is. So it's really up to you. Honestly, personally, sometimes I don't strain the beans because I'm throwing away nutrition, so I strain it sometimes and I don't. It's really up to you. For the sake of this recipe, I'm gonna strain it, but it's your discretion. Use your discretion. So after you've blended the beans, we're gonna go ahead and rinse the blender to get all of the leftover the stuff. We're not gonna throw away anything. And then the pulp, we're gonna go ahead and add the water to the pulp so you can get all of the, you know, the beans in there, all of the juice in there, whatever it's in there. And then we're gonna go ahead and strain it again, because we're not losing anything. We're gonna make sure we get everything out of the skin, you know. So you guys, this is it. I got everything out of the skin. Just skin and just the pulp stayed left. This recipe calls for a lot of water. So this, I added 9 cups of water. I blended the beans with 1 cup and I added an additional 8 cups of water. Yeah, bouillon calls for a lot of water. So I'm gonna go ahead and add my dumplings. You can wait until the beans, the soup starts to boil to add the dumpling, or you don't have to. You can just add it. Like, I was making this recipe right before work, so time was not in my favor. So I'm gonna go ahead and season my sauce pois. I added the carrots, the red bell pepper, Scotch bonnet pepper, but I'm not gonna break it, and add the cloves to the Scotch bonnet pepper, or just dump them in like that. I added fresh parsley and fresh thyme. So we're gonna go ahead and let it come to a boil. So right when it's boiled, after, you know, a few minutes, 7 minutes, go ahead and add the meat and the leftover vegetables. So the vegetables that I added in the meat, they're not fully cooked, they're halfway cooked. You know, I didn't want to add them at first because it would take too long. I didn't want the soup to dry up, to reduce. That's why I cooked them first, and I wanted them to have a little bit of flavor too, the meat flavor. So after you've added your meat and the vegetable to the bouillon, we're gonna go ahead and let it come to a boil, and also season it more. Make sure you taste it to know that, you know, that it's good. You know, add extra salt if you need to, add extra seasoning. So I'm using adobo, Goya adobo. I always forget to say Goya adobo. I forget to say adobo, but Goya adobo. I always say Goya and assuming people would know that, but it's Goya adobo. And I'm also using Montreal chicken seasoning because I didn't have any more of the all-purpose chicken seasoning. And you guys, if you are liking this video so far, aggressively hit the subscribe button, okay? Just be very aggressive with it, okay? And hit it. Anyway, so let it boil and be sure to taste. So after you've added the seasoning, the vegetable, let it boil for 10 minutes. And then after that, you've got your recipe, you've got your dish. And this is it, you guys. It's one of the best bouillon. I love it. It's just another type of soup. We have different type of soup. When it comes to food, Haitians, we are very, very creative. Very creative. We can make soup out of anything. We have different type of bouillon. It's called bouillon. So it's equivalent to soup, I guess. There's not a right name for it, honestly. This is the final product, you guys. I really hope you give it a try. It's not hard, it just takes a long time, and I really hope this recipe was easy enough for you to understand and be able to make it. If you have any questions, don't forget, just hit me up, comment below, or just send me an email and I will answer you and let you know. If you are stuck with something, just ask me and I'll help you. And honestly, guys, this was the best. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and also share with someone that can actually make it and make it for you. As always, thank you for watching. I will see you soon in the next video.